on Facebook. We are live here on the Female Solution, and we're bringing in our host, Deborah.
Hello. How are you all?
Oh, we are fantastic.
Great. I see we're still moving around.
We are moving around, and we're going to give you an opportunity. We've been saying to our listening audience that this is a season that we may want to do something different. We may want to take the family and go someplace different. And we may want to experience something different this Thanksgiving as opposed to that usual running around and doing all the shopping and cooking. We may want to do something else. So
I know I
think
do.
about the possibilities and maybe even introduce people to some other opportunities. I think I need your volume to come up a little bit. Not sure if we're hearing you as loud as you like.
Okay, let's see.
Right.
Oh, that's your voice.
Okay.
Oh, is that all right now?
All right, is that better now?
I can hear you.
Oh, you hear me? Okay.
Can you hear me?
You sound a little low. Let me see if I can pull you up on screen so we can see more of you. All right, let's see here. No, we don't want to do that. Let's see if we can. All right, let's move Deborah around a little bit. All right, there we go.
Okay, so hopefully you can hear me a little better now.
Great. Try.
Okay, so welcome everybody. Thank you all for joining us today as we move around with Deborah. Actually, we're moving around. You're the one that's moving around. We want you to move around. So as Naima was saying, we're trying to do something different, break from tradition. And I know that's so hard. You're just now getting back with family over the last couple of years. But let's just break down what is tradition. Tradition is inherited, is or a customary pattern or thought, action, behavior. It is also something that is established. Yes, you didn't always have, or the generations, your ancestors didn't always have a tradition such as they have now. It's always been something that was established. So why not you establish something new for you and your family, or just for you, for yourself? It could be your tradition. We don't want to get stuck on something that we're doing because that's what we've been doing all along. It's okay to do something different. It's okay to venture out. I mean, just think about it. When you went and purchased something new to wear, that was something different. Am I right? So, why not try and do something other than what you're doing? Now, if it's something that's hard, you say, oh, no, we've been doing this for years. We have to continue on. I understand that. And sometimes our families expect certain things of us, but it's only because we haven't introduced them to a new tradition. So let's think about that, especially now with the times as how they are. We've gotten into such a mundane living existence And we know now that change is inevitable. Change is something that is going to come whether we want it or not. A lot of times we traditionally do certain things because that's how it's always been done. And I don't mind, and you shouldn't mind that it's been always been done. And if you're happy with it, by all means, continue on. But if you're looking for something different, putting a little different flair to your life, think about starting another tradition, a new tradition, a twerking that old tradition. Now, of course, we're in the middle of a season of a holiday celebrating. It started, for some folks, it started with Halloween. For us, for me in my house, it starts all year. You know, I'm the type, I don't want to necessarily wait for a particular time of year to celebrate something. I think life should be celebrated all year round, every day. I think when it is time to give, you give from your heart. So you give when it's time to give. Don't give. I don't feel as though we should always give at Christmas. We should give other times a year. Now, folks are giving out food baskets and turkeys and different things, but people are hungry in other times of the year. So I know that it's in heightened now, but I want you to think about setting a tradition where you're giving in other parts of the year, where you're celebrating, where you're giving gifts. Who gives gifts at Christmas? Everybody. Everybody. Look at the market of after Thanksgiving. The what is it? The super sale. I myself never got into the super sale, but I know I've always with family on Thanksgiving. We all went through the papers to see what was on sale. And those who were going to venture out the next day, Friday, they were the ones that had the list and they knew what to do and where to go and who was going to do what. So I've been a part of the planning. I just never partook of getting out there in the hustle and bustle of the shopping. But, you know, people shop for different reasons. A lot of folks shop because now they're preparing to purchase gifts for their loved ones. I say purchase those gifts all year round. But I know that the sale, quote unquote, is supposed to be happening now. That is also a marketing plan that you have to pay attention to. That Black Friday, I'm black all Fridays, so I don't know. But you know that again is tradition. Some folks go out together as a family traditionally after Thanksgiving. Some folks come and visit each other traditionally during Thanksgiving. The monarch or the patriarch, they're the ones that typically are putting together the meal for Thanksgiving. Do we know what Thanksgiving is for? Do we know what the Thanksgiving message is about? Do you know when Thanksgiving began? From what I understand, there are many places in the New World, which is the United States now, in the 15 in the yeah 1500 whatever, that folks was coming together and breaking bread, having a feast, having a meal, and sharing that meal with the community, not just with the family, but with the community. They were experiencing different cultures because you had the native people who were here already on this earth, on this land, and you had the new visitors who were coming and joining in, meeting new people. So, is that how you're celebrating Thanksgiving? Or are you slaving over the stove, preparing the meals, beginning the preparation a week before, going out shopping, cleaning because you're having company, and then everybody comes over, eats, leaves you with the dishes and the cleanup, and then the football games? The football games are going on in a few different rooms, and the other folks are in the newspapers looking for the sales and planning the Friday after. So that's typical, that's traditional, that's the way it's been. So, how do you feel about that? Is that something that you want to continue? Is that something that is pleasing to you? Are you happy? Or are you rubbing your feet the night of or the next day? Or are you passed out after you've done all the shopping and the cooking and the cleaning and the preparing and not able to enjoy the idea of the thoughts of the day? So let's start talking about changing the tradition. Let's bring in some new traditions. That's what we're here for. That's what we're here to talk to you about. And we want you to join into the conversation, of course. So if you could, if you're listening, are you on Facebook or any other kind of social media that you're hearing us from, please call in at 515 605 9325. That's 515 605 9325. And talk to us. Let us know what you think. Give us some ideas of your change in tradition. What are some of your ideas that you have? My idea, of course, is to move around, to travel the world, to see how other people are living, to experience other culinary opportunities. That's what the whole encompass of Thanksgiving was originally about: giving thanks to other cultures, other people that you just met, new friends, new associates. You came together and you shared in new food ideas. And excuse me, forgive me, I've been struggling all week with the challenges of the weather change. That's what I attribute Thanksgiving with: the weather change, the snow, the cold, because I happen to live in the Midwest. That was something else that I wanted to talk about today: the weather and how you navigate the weather as you move around during this season. You know, we want to move and we want to travel, but are you prepared for the delays? Are you prepared for the road trips? Excuse me. It is something that you definitely want to take into account. Thank you for being understanding uh, that as I go through this, and I hope maybe you to get Naima back on at some point, because I am losing my voice again. I've medicated. I'm taking my little chloroseptic So if I go into a spasm, that's something else. We get sick. The weather changes. We get sick. Who wants to cook? I don't. I remember years ago that I changed how things were done in my house, typically. But I do want to talk about, before we go to break, we'll be going to break shortly. I want to say that as we travel, excuse me, as we travel on the road, you want to make sure that you prepare yourself, as always. So there are places that you can go to. The National Weather Service will let you know what the weather is, what the forecast is. The forecast is, maybe 10 days up. Your phone has an app on it that provides the weather and the forecast. And if you are traveling in the upper part of the United States, we know we're experiencing snow, especially on the East Coast, and there's rain in the South. So prepare your car. Make sure you have the safety precautions in your vehicle as you travel. You test your car's battery. Check the lights on your car. Make sure your tires are at the proper level. The newer cars, they have the gauges, and they will tell you when you got a low tire or something like that. But a lot of us don't have those newer cars with those in there. So check that. Check your wiper blades and the fluids. Wiper blades are so important during this time of year because they wear when they're trying to move the snow. Not so much the rain, but the snow and the ice. It wears them down. Make sure your fluid, your wiper blades, your fluid is up. Your fluid is up in everything. Of course, your oil, your wiper fluids, wiper blade fluids have the proper type for the proper type of temperature you're going. Pack your winter gear. Make sure you have blankets, extra gloves, extra socks. Because sometimes our socks we get out, and we have to get out sometimes and go somewhere, and our socks get wet because our shoes are not protecting us as properly as we want them to. So have extra socks. Make sure that you're comfortable as you are driving. You have to be comfortable, but have that coat in that car, have that hat and that scarf and everything in that car. But be comfortable as you are driving. You want to be able to flex around. Have your emergency kit. Your emergency kit comes with many things. Your first aid kit, snacks, flashlights, flares, or the triangles, the reflective triangles, screwdriver, hammer, paper towels, water. I did say snacks, didn't I? Yes, snacks, because you never know when you'll be stuck because of accident or because of the weather. You might get stuck in traffic, and the traffic is not moving at all. And of course, give your car a checkup. Make sure you take it and have that oil change. Make sure all those fluids are tapped off. It's very important. Have a charger, an extra charger in your car that you travel with. You should always travel with a portable charger anyway, and make sure it's charged up. Uh, write down the telephone numbers, the emergency numbers. I know you have them in your phone, but you want to write those numbers down because sometimes our phones may die and we might have to find the ever elusive payphone or a neighbor's phone. So if you have those important phone numbers written down, you don't have to worry about finding them or being in contact with someone. We are, it used to be a time where we had those push button phones and those roller phones. We had to remember the number that we were trying to reach of everybody. Now it's so convenient. All we do is pick up our cell phone and push a button, and the dial, the call goes straight through. These phones, this technical items, they in some cases they're smart, but they're making us a little lazier and complacent. So we have to write things down. And as always, be careful when you're driving on roads that are ever so slick. You can't tell. Black ice is called black ice because you can't tell that the ice is on the road. Excuse me. Because it looks just like the road. And you're going on along, and all of a sudden you hit that black ice and you're spinning out of control, and you don't know what to do. Well, first thing you do is come off the gas. They say don't put on the brakes. Now, I'm not a professional, but and then turn towards the turn, the sliding.
Just well, I've just slidden recently, so I can say that that is what works.
Okay.
Get your tires checked, as of course we're here in Chicago where it is now snowing. And so you want to make sure your tires are in good condition. If they're a little bit bald, you do not want to ride on a slick pavement, because if you try to turn, your car will have a mind of its own. So get those tires replaced.
Yeah.
And go ahead and get new tires. It's better to get tires that are new if you can. Used tires are just that, they're used, which means they may also feel a little worn. So you want to have good gripping tires in the wintertime for sure.
They have to have those treads.
They have to have those treads. I have had that experience of sliding on the expressway, and let me tell you, you don't want that feeling. Your life flashes before your eyes. You just
not at all.
Start praying. I mean, you don't want that experience. So we gotta take a break. So Deborah, you're gonna handle the switchboard on the break.
It would not let me. Okay. I am there. It would not let me come in as a host.
Oh, okay. I'm going to run a few commercials, and when we come back a little later, we're going to perhaps be joining Dr. Willie Wilson. Has been giving out some food and gas, helping people in these hard times so they can have a good Thanksgiving.
That's what it's for.
And that's what I mean. This whole season is about giving and sharing. So he's been going to grocery stores around the city and giving out. I believe it's I think it's $25 in gift cards for grocery shopping and $50 in gas. And the whole thing is to help families that might be having a hard time during this season, and they want to have that good dinner that maybe they otherwise wouldn't be able to afford. So we thank Dr. Willie Wilson for his generosity. And we're going to see if we can share a little bit of that with you during the show. But in the meantime, we'll be right back. So we want you to stay with us.
Stick and stay.
Absolutely.
We have an opportunity to transform the whole global society in the next 50 years. 50 years from now, the earth will be populated by a new generation of adults, many of whom are yet unborn. Our mission is to nurture them in childhood with love, guidance, and protection, and to raise them in healthy, happy families. If we impart values of compassion, generosity, and respect for fellow human beings in the next generation of children, they will create a world where people can live together in peace. This is our goal. Be a part of the transformation. Get your copy of the book, The Female Solution. Go to www.naimalatif.com. That's www.naimalatif.com. Do you want to live in a world without war? Join our global peace movement. Heavenly Culture World Peace Restoration of Life transcends culture, religion, ideology, and other boundaries. Achieve peaceful harmony in the global society. HWPL is committed to bringing world peace and cessation of war through peaceful dialogue between religious groups. I'm Director Shin-Suk Kim of the HWPL Chicago branch of North America. Join us for our next gathering. Call 773-580-1501. Be a part of the movement for world peace. Email us at chicagohwpl@gmail.com. Hi, I'm Jody Susan with Susan Essentials. I started Susan Essentials in 2015 because of a personal health journey. I was over-medicated and put on 19 different medications. And yes, I reversed all my chronic diseases using plant and energy-based healing. It was amazing. At Susan Essentials, we support both consumers and businesses. And we do that with helping your employees or yourself with a food as medicine mindset. How Susan Essentials supports businesses and consumers is we teach people about a food as medicine mindset. So we support people on how to support their own immune system, how to support their brain health, how to support their emotional well-being. And we do that all with plant and an energy-based healing.
Oh, man, God sent the monthly sun bill today. This sunlight is really expensive, especially during this season. I'll probably have to work overtime to pay it.
Well, you better pay it on time. We don't want the sun to go out and we're sitting up here all day in the dark. Wouldn't it be terrible if God charged us for sunlight? Well, thank God, the light and heat from the sun is free. So why are we paying such high bills for the energy we use in our homes? Because we don't know how to use solar energy, the free energy from the sun. You can convert your regular home to a solar energy home and save tremendously on your electric bill. Take a look at your electric bill. Wouldn't you like to reduce or possibly even eliminate that cost altogether? Let one of our solar consultants show you how. Call today, 312-849-3456, and schedule a free consultation. That's 312-849-3456. I'm Beata, your holistic life coach. These days, it's more important than ever to work on your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health. Are you consciously breathing deeply in stressful moments? Do you have a plan or daily routine to maintain balance in your awesome body? Are you struggling to be disciplined in your eating habits? When you partner personalized health plan that works for your particular lifestyle. You can find out more about me at yourholisticlifecoach.com, where you can also review my 3-step protocol to guide you to abundant health. That's yourholisticlifecoach.com, and I'm the author.
All right. Well, we're back. Thank you all for joining us today as we move around with Deborah. You know, we're talking about how we make rules, we follow them, and when we want to see something different, we change them. And that's what traditions are. You know, we want to know where your traditions came from. They came from ideas that your foreparents had, ideas that they came up with to bring camaraderie with the family, with the situation. It doesn't necessarily have to be just family. And as we say, the term family, we lose it loosely, but it could be family and friends, associates, co-workers. Tradition can scan social events. It doesn't matter. It's it's okay to change the narrative of that's how it always is. And we're talking today about how we're changing the traditional menu. Yes, there are many options and meal palettes around the world. And you want to experience that just as you experience travel. When you're traveling, you're going to eat. So why not, even though we are sometimes skeptical about consuming other foods in other countries and in other parts of the country, but we have to stretch out and get excited about the palate that we have to consume a meal. And I talk about traveling the world when I speak, but that could happen right in your own home. There are many different businesses, startup businesses, older businesses that have been in business for years, who feed people, and that is their chore to feed you. That's what caterers do. You know, catering business is not something that's new. Caterers have been around for years, and they are solely here to help you and have a successful event. And when we talk about catering, it doesn't have to be like hundreds of people or 50 people or more. It could be just your family. We have so many opportunities to have those catered events and different people to come into your home. I do know that there's some folks that are particular about who prepares food for them. But think about it. When you go to restaurants, are you in the kitchen? Are you in their pots? Are you looking to see how they're preparing the food? No, you trust that uh, they are doing what they are supposed to do. You trust that they have been given the inspection protocol to be able to legally run a business in the area, in uh, that genre. You trust. Now, some folks don't trust and they don't eat out, and I understand. If that's who you are, I'm not knocking you. I understand. because I've seen some folks' kitchens, and I'm like, no. I've seen some folks with their animals, and I'm like, no. But when we are going to the professionals, there are standards of cleanliness, and what they do is held at a different level, and we trust. So it's okay if you have a professional to bring into your home a meal. I remember years ago, the very first time that our local grocery store said that they were going to sell Thanksgiving dinners, the entire Thanksgiving dinner. I'm like, oh, okay. I could use that because at the time I was in the corporate world and working many hours and commuting many hours and just did not feel like the preparation that has to go into putting into a big meal for the family. I did not want to do it. I didn't have time. And we have many professionals. Everybody's not at home cooking. Everybody doesn't have the time to be at home to cook. We've got our educators, we've got our medical professionals, we have our legal professionals, we have our mechanical folks, just regular everyday people who are working and going to school and just don't have the time to put things together. And we as family members should not expect that they should because it is tradition. You have to help out. And if you don't know how to help out, then they have folks that you can go and buy. I know I go to Olive Garden, and I'm not plugging Olive Garden, but it's just an example. If it's a meal that I have to at someone's home that I'm going to, and my job was to bring the salad, excuse me, I go to Olive Garden and get the salad. It's really affordable. We trust that Olive Garden's lettuce is immaculate. They provide all the utensils, all the croutons, the cheese, the salad and all its mixings, the bowls, and it's the salad dressing that everybody likes, and it's right there. And all you had to do was go by and pick it up, and again, it's very affordable. And it was something, you always, whenever you go, that's etiquette 101. Whenever you go to someone's home, always take something. If you're not sure what to take, and call before when you're on your way, you call, hey, I'm on my way. Is there something that you need me to pick up? Etiquette 101, 102. You know, I just wanted to share that. A lot of people don't pay attention to that. I didn't think of that. And that's why I'm here to help you out with those ideas. Yes, etiquette 101. So, having meals and caterers, folks come in and they could, even when you travel, I know we do a lot of traveling to Airbnb locations, having the family gather at other locations. And I don't know if you've ever experienced that, but when we go and we rent a house out, the first place we're going, if you're in the area, is the Walmart to go grocery shopping because, of course, you want the basic staples, salt and pepper, and whatever meals that you're trying to prepare. And typically, when we go grocery shopping, we're buying extra food that we're never going to use. Who's going to use the whole container of salt and pepper that you purchase? Who's going to travel with that? So these are some of the things that you set up when you go to the Airbnbs. and you want the camaraderie of being together. But now it's just like being at home. You're so worn out by cooking and cleaning that you don't have time to really relax yourself. Now, of course, it is good that you're coming together as a group, as a unit, and preparing food and preparing different dishes and different drinks and just coming together. But is that really the only thing that you want to do? Because after that, you got to clean up. Who's going to clean up? Who's going to be following up and making sure everything is done? Who's going to go to the store because you forgot something? We always forget something because we're not in our own home. And something that's a staple that's typically in our home, uh, we don't have it. But that's that one ingredient that we have to have in order for this dish to be just perfect. And we forgot it. So now we got to run back to the store and get it. But that's something that you want to think about when you start traveling and you're renting these homes and you have to have these meals, for everybody, not just for you, but for everybody. Now, a lot of times we still go out and go to the restaurants and whatnot when you're on vacation. But typically, when you're in a home setting, that is one of the reasons why you're in that home setting. So you can be comfortable. You can have a meal whenever, a snack, a midnight snack, or fellowshipping with the family or associates or whomever you're traveling with. So that's something that you want to think about too. They have caterers in the area that you can pre research and get the gist on who's the better one, who has um, the best rewards. People who said that they've had, excuse me, that they've had their cuisine the best reviews is what I'm trying to say. So you predestine, just like you pre-research the location that you're going to be. That's part of the research. Who's going to cook those special meals? If it's a birthday or a celebration, you want to have a cake. Who's the best baker in the area? Unless you're going to take the cake with you and take the icing and everything. But why do that when you have a caterer uh, to come in and prepare that for you, or you know where the baker is, and you can go and order that, and it just come out just be a fantastic event. So these are some of the things that you want to think about when you are traveling and you want to experience lifestyles that are conducive to what you're used to as far as culinary, and those that you want to change. Now, that's what I enjoy, the ones that are different. I did find a one particular company that I haven't tried yet, but it's Shef.com. It's SHEF.com. Now, this company, they are in some major cities in the United States. I'm not sure about outside of the United States, but they are in my area and they provide culinary food, like Indian food, American food, Southern, Italian, Mexican, Asian, Caribbean, Korean, vegan and vegetarian. Yes, I know that is important for some folks' palate. Is it vegan? Is it vegetarian? Is there shellfish? Because we have to pay attention to folks with allergies. That is so important when we're planning. And some people, you have to be careful. I did not realize until I was with someone who has a shellfish allergy, and they can't even you can't even use the same utensils with anything else as you use, and that's in preparing. It is so it's so detailed how you have to pay attention, and that's what you have to trust when you're eating out that these folks are doing for you. Now, if it's something that you definitely want to stay away from, then you stay away from it, plain and simple. But chef.com, they are, what they do is have the authentic native to that culture preparing uh, meals for you, and then they're delivered to you. So again, they don't come in a box. They actually, well, they come in a box, yeah, but they actually deliver to you. I know they have some of these food places that they put together in one part of the country and they ship it to you in another part of the country, and you put it in the microwave and do whatever you do with it. This is not that. This is authentic food that is prepared like that day of or the day before, and it's delivered to you fresh. So this is something that I'm going to try myself, and I hope that you find in your area somewhere someone like that. In many parts of the country, we have authentic native meals that are prepared. I do know that we have a group that is the culinary travel guide. And a culinary, when I talk about culinary, I talk about food and drinks. Yes, it's not just for food. It is also the drinks as well. You never thought that people will be putting together different punches and different eggnog. Now is the season for the eggnog. I don't know why you can't have eggnog in the summertime. I don't know. But you can't find eggnog in the summertime. I think I would drink eggnog in the summertime. I think I would drink eggnog whenever I want to get ready to drink egg. But that's something that we have to, that's funny. That's something that we have to put together. And I like putting together the different drinks. But I want you to embrace your inner adventure and understand that you only have a short span in your life, and you want to experience new things. You don't want to you should not want to just be stuck with the idea of this is all to life. You have got to get out there and find and experience different ideas, different palettes. When we travel in other parts of the world, there is a group, a gastronomy, and what they do is they help maintain the consumption of, say, Americans going to Mexico. If you go to Mexico and you go to a Mexican restaurant in the neighborhood, your system, your bodily system, may not be able to receive that food, that nourishment, though, and be able to keep it down, or not have it do something strange to your body, because the ingredients that are used are different than you're used to. So what they have is, when we travel, we have a group. It's the gastronomy group that makes sure that different restaurants utilize the same uh, palettes, the same ingredients, to help to assure that this food is properly prepared, and something that your system can adapt to. So you always want to make sure that when you're traveling abroad, you're traveling uh, with someone, or to somewhere where they do pay attention to that. You want to satisfy your curiosity about the world and have fun. And it is so much fun in this world. I mean, just in the United States, you have your town that you live in. Then you have Chicago, who now is just bursting with different uh, activities, preparing for the season, and preparing the food, the culinary visit. We have so much in store. Also, New York City. It is just amazing, the restaurants that are there. Then you want to go to the Caribbean. Oh my goodness. I mean, I never will forget being in the Caribbean. I think it was the Bahamas. And I might have told the story before, but it was so exciting to me. we we ordered our food, and most of us got the fish, of course, because that's what we wanted, fish. And it was taking so long for him to come back, but we were enjoying ourselves. But we were like, what is going on? Where's our food? Well, come to find out that the food was so fresh, they were fishing for our catch right then and there. So when we placed our order, they took it and they gave it to the fishermen, and the fishermen went out and caught our fish and then brought back and prepared it. How fresh can that be?
That's
How ethnic could that be?
yeah.
That was amazing. I was so
That's
excited. Yeah,
amazing.
so
Well, we
so
got the break and come back and might get a chance to share a little bit of video with you of some of the people who you might want to consider uh, going to visit for Thanksgiving. We'll see if we can pull that up on screen. And if you are considering, if you're in and around the Chicagoland area, you might be able to pull up some from other cities. If you are considering doing something different other than the tradition of you doing all the cooking, we'll give you a few options you may want to consider. So we'll be right back after this quick break. We want you to stick and stay. Don't stray away. We'll be back in just one moment. So stay with us.
I'm Beata, your holistic life coach. These days, it's more important than ever to work on your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health. Are you consciously breathing deeply in stressful moments? Do you have a plan or daily routine to maintain balance in your awesome body? Are you struggling to be disciplined in your eating habits? When you partner with me, I'll help you develop a personalized health plan that works for your particular lifestyle. You can find out more about me at yourholisticlifecoach.com, where you can also review my 3-step protocol to guide you to abundant health. That's yourholisticlifecoach.com, and I'm Beata. Do you worry about finances, family, health, job, relationships? Are you in pain? Do you feel stuck? If you answered yes to any of these questions, help is available. Don't worry, you're not alone. It's part of the human process. You only feel this way because you haven't mastered the voices in your head. No hype, just down-to-earth, solid, workable tools and techniques that you can practice daily. It's really food for the soul. Whether you want to learn how not to worry about anything, reverse type 2 diabetes, publish a book, promote your product or service, or just make extra money. To take advantage of the deal of the day, go to zeldaspeaks.com or call 312-409-6619. Mention promo code The Female Solution and get free shipping. That's zeldaspeaks.com or 312-409-6619. Stop worrying today. Visit zeldaspeaks.com.
Hi, I'm Barbara.
I'm Cheryl.
And I'm Naima. We're 3 Black moms.
And in case you didn't notice the resemblance, we're also 3 sisters.
We're going to be coming to you every week, sharing our successes and our mistakes as we navigate our lives as moms, wives, sisters, daughters, and of course, Black women in today's world.
We'll talk about it all: race, politics, religion, economics, culture, and we'll take a look at everything from whether or not to use corporal punishment to how do you teach your children about sex.
Look for our upcoming book, Growing Up Charles. It's a personal story about our lives growing up in Maple Park on Chicago's South Side. I'm Barbara.
I'm Cheryl.
And I'm Naima. We're 3 Black moms. Follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel, 3 Black Moms.
Hi, I'm Naima Latif, executive producer of the Female Solution Global Radio TV show. We are a part of the online network of Associated Internet Radio hosts, On Air. On Air empowers you with transformative news and interactive radio TV shows. This is such a wonderful time to be alive and to see our human family coming together as one community as a result of that powerful tool, the internet.
Yes.
We can now talk directly to each other all over the world. There's no need for conflict or misunderstanding. There's no need for violence to solve our differences. We can talk to each other face to face until we reach an agreement. On Air offers a fantastic global guide to communicators from all over the world using their internet platforms to inspire us to strive to be our best selves in order to become the kind, compassionate, loving people we were all born to be. Once we do that, we'll see planet Earth transformed into a place of peace. Subscribe to the recommended YouTube channels, Facebook pages, and podcasts created by these Voices of Enlightenment. On Air provides daily news briefs and a weekly magazine to keep you abreast of events and opportunities. On Air news affiliates in television, radio, and print share information, insights, and interviews with notable personalities. Go to onaireverywhere.com for a daily dose of uplifting news. We're on air everywhere, online all the time.
Oh man, God sent the monthly sun bill today. This sunlight is really expensive, especially during this season. I'll probably have to work overtime to save it.
Well, we better play it on time. We don't want the sun to go out and we're sitting up here all day in the dark. Wouldn't it be terrible if God charged us for sunlight? Well, thank God, the light and heat from the sun is free. So why are we paying such high bills for the energy we use in our homes? Because we don't know how to use solar energy, the free energy from the sun. You can convert your regular home to a solar energy home and save tremendously on your electric bill. Take a look at your electric bill. Wouldn't you like to reduce or possibly even eliminate that?
All right. We'll have it. Those technical challenges again. We love technical challenges. It keeps us moving. It keeps us motivated. You know, we were talking about how right in our own area, there are many opportunities. And I say my area because I'm only familiar with my area. But as I do my travels, I do know that other major cities have the same thing we talk about. It's funny. It seems like the news is the same wherever you go if you're in a major city. So I do know that right now there's a lot of celebrating, there's a lot of eating, and there's a lot of opportunity for you to experience culture in a slightly different way. Even though it's the same, it's a little different because the way the people talk, the way the dialect is, the drive that the people have, the dress that they do. I remember I visited New Orleans. I think I was there for a week, and I certainly came home with a dialogue. I just love my Cajun folks. And you talking about eating. I mean, that's one of the major reasons to travel and visit New Orleans is for the culinary experience. And as in any other time of the year, during this time, Thanksgiving or Christmas or New Year's, the opportunity for you to travel, to change the tradition that you typically have, to travel to another area and just engulf yourself in their cuisine for the holiday is amazing. I mean, why not? We talk about doing something traditional and making traditions. One of those traditions that you're making could be to just go somewhere else. The worldwide travel opportunity is open again. So there is little reason for you not to continue your experience on getting through to your family, your friends, your associates. I know that some folks they want to do destination weddings, and and destination birthdays and destination celebrations. Well, a holiday too could be a destination. A lot of families are now living across the country or around the world, and it may not be conducive for everybody to travel 500 miles to get to one location where you can travel 200 miles, and everybody travels 200 miles and gets to where they have to go. So that is something that I really want you to get into your mindset, that what you typically do or what you typically expect is not something that has to continue. Traditions are traditions, they were created at some point, and you have to understand that you are in a position where you can create your own tradition. The culinary world or food tourism, I like that part too. I like food tourism. Maybe uh, it gravitates to you, um, because that's what we're talking about, food today. Next week, next month, we're going to talk about something else in travel and holiday. But today we're talking about food and the food culture, the worldwide food culture that we can experience is something that you want to share with your children. You want to let them know that there's more to it. Then, of course, we already gotten them away from the McDonald's and the Burger Kings and the fast food. I apologize, McDonald's and Burger King. I didn't mean to call you out like that, but the fast food junkies and the food that's providing the additives that's making us uh, not feel well, and making us explode because of the additives that are in the foods that we're getting. And not only at the fast food places, but at the other locations, some of the other locations that are not typically where we should be eating, even in our own home. A lot of times we're not preparing the food as we should be, even in our own home. So you have to make sure that you explore the world and put your own flair to it. It's okay that you have the recipe and you tweak the recipe a little bit once you get it home, or if you go out and it's something that you're unfamiliar with on the menu, and you say, well, can I try that? That's why I like the tapas restaurants. Those are the restaurants where they bring out different dishes and everyone at the table gets to share on the different dishes and the different levels. I really like the tapas culture as far as how they feed. So, uh, in your town, or in the town that you're traveling to, you can have those mini palettes. And if you don't want to go out, remember I said catering has been around for a long time. Now we have the opportunity where the private chefs are coming in and they bring everything. Have you ever had a private chef to come in and make a meal for you and a loved one, or for you and your family, or you and the girlfriends or the guy trips? Have you ever experienced that? That is something that you want to say, I think I could do that. Try it. And then let me know what happened. It is, there's so many opportunities. Now I know that we have a person in our area, and even though he has created a group, um, Black Chicago Eats. Yes, Black Chicago Eats. And he explores Black owned restaurants in the Chicago area, not exclusively to Chicago, but the Chicago area. At Tori Muhammad, I want you to go to his site, Black Chicago Eats.
We've got a couple of clips from some of the places he's explored we'd like to share with our listening and viewing audience, especially if you're considering maybe breaking with tradition and going out to eat someplace, taking the family out, maybe having all those relatives that you were going to invite to your home, maybe have them meet you at a restaurant and have a big family dinner and let somebody else do the cooking and be the chef. And you know, you mentioned earlier, Deborah, about and I'm sure I mentioned this before, you know, making sure that people who have allergies, whether peanut allergies or shellfish allergies, you know, I'm just making sure that you find out if anybody's got any food allergies, if you're going to do an event, and also make sure the chef can tell you if there's anything in the food that if they cook with peanut oil, you know, and somebody's got a peanut allergy, or if they cook the fish in the same food they cook everything else. Now I'll tell you a horrible experience I had, which if I've told you before, I have to tell you. I tell y'all, you know, I repeat stuff.
It's okay. It's okay.
But we went to this restaurant one evening, and because I'm vegetarian, you know, I look for the vegetables, the non-meats, and all they had was fries that I could order. So I got an order of fries. Well, it just so happened, now I got a shellfish allergy. Just so happened that, well, you know, they cook shrimp and all that kind of stuff. So they cooked the fries apparently in this same oil. Well, I didn't know that. So I'm, you know, eating it, and I kind of tasted a slight fishy taste to it, but I didn't think about it. And I got home, and it's like my chest started closing up and my throat started closing up, and the food wouldn't go down. I felt like it wouldn't go past my chest. Whatever the digestive process is, it was like stuck there. And I started to break out in a fever. And I felt nauseous, but like it was the worst feeling, because it was like food was stuck in my chest. I couldn't breathe. My throat was swelling up, and I was in that condition for an entire 24 hours, and it didn't alleviate. And you know, I'm getting sicker and sicker. Whatever it was wouldn't go up or down, just stuck there. And my pain was getting higher. And you know, by the second day, you know, and my daughter at the time, she was working full time. She wasn't living at home, and my mother was there with me, but you know, she was in a panic because, you know, she's older and everything. And finally, you know, my partner, business partner John, came by to check and saw, however I looked, I must have looked horrifying. He said, "Oh no!" And he called an ambulance right away. They rushed me to the hospital. I ended up 5 days in the hospital.
Oh.
And they were talking about, well, we might have to operate and, you know, take part of your digestive. It's something they were trying to take some parts. I'm like, oh no, that's not going to happen. No, I'm going to will myself to get better. I'm getting out of here. Y'all like cutting me open, taking out nothing. So I finally decided to leave. I did slowly get better. I guess whatever it was finally passed through my system. But it was a horrific experience just from eating French fries cooked in shrimp oil.
Yeah.
So your chefs have to know what is in the food and the kind of oil they're cooking in. And anybody you invite to dinner, make sure they let you know if they've got any kind of food allergy. because allergies are nothing to play with. I mean, that could have been a fatal situation.
It could have been, and it has been in the past for other people.
I've known people who have definitely exited from this earth from the reactions of an allergy. So, you know, these are things like Deborah was saying, you don't know what's happening in somebody else's kitchen. If it's not your kitchen, you don't know how clean it is. You don't know how many times they reuse that grease and what else they cooked in it. You don't know these things. So you do have to trust where you're choosing to put your palate.
I know with
sometimes when you have a food allergy. Yeah.
You know, with caterers, even in your home, if you're having company, we now see where they're using the tent cards and they're identifying what the food is that is in front of you. Say this is greens with pork, or greens with turkey, smoked turkey, or greens, you know, vegetarian green, no meat. You know, it's identified. Even if it's in your home and you're having the company, you know, because folks have to be careful about what they consume. And, you know, it may look good, it may smell good, but if they cannot take it, you don't want anyone to be ill because of something that you prepared. So think about having those tent cards and identifying, and think about if you do have a vegetarian or someone who is susceptible to any allergies, that you be knowledgeable about the utensils that you use in preparing the food and serving the food, and even being around the food.
Absolutely. Yes. So definitely make sure you know what, you know, it's good if you go to a restaurant, if you can get a, like, you can see in the kitchen, maybe it's made where you can look back there and see what it looks like. That I try to do that. You know, I try to go to places where there is some type of opening where you can look and see what's happening in the kitchen. Not that you want to stand over them, but you do want to be able to see the cleanliness of it. And as we've said before, a good sign is how clean is the bathroom. If the bathroom's nasty, walk away because that you know what's happening in the kitchen.
Yeah, we've not visited a restaurant that there's this one dish that this restaurant is the only one that prepares this one dish in the Chicago area that we found. But my husband went to the bathroom and the cook was in the bathroom, and the cook left out of the bathroom without washing his hands.
Oh, gross me out.
And of course, my husband, he went to he went to management, and the manager, you know, approached the guy, and the guy said, "Well, I came to the kitchen to wash my hands."
But so you're not supposed to be washing your hands where you wash the utensils. I know that there are some specifics about the sinks that you use for dishes, the sinks that you use for food, the sinks you use for hands, and all those things have to be separate. So
needless to say, we don't go there anymore.
Yeah, that was a poor excuse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this year they had Black Chicago Restaurant Week, and I'm just going to show you a clip from that, because there are a lot of restaurants that you can choose from that have a variety of
Black Restaurant Week here in Chicago. The 2-week event kicks off today, and we're taking you all over town to see what these restaurants are cooking up. From Bureau Bar in the South Loop.
It's quite a few Black restaurants in the city of Chicago. I'm still finding out new ones every day.
To Surf's Up in Oak Park.
We need everybody to come support us.
To Luella's Southern Kitchen in Lincoln Square.
Especially like after the holiday season, January's slow, and then this gives us something to look forward to.
These business owners are excited to kick off Black Restaurant Week.
There's a lot of history that could be told through food. And I think when people actually dine in restaurants like ours, they can kind of see that.
Most participating restaurants are offering special deals over the next 2 weeks to try to bring in customers. Lauren Smith first launched Chicago Black Restaurant Week in 2016, but says because of the pandemic, the event has become more important than ever.
Restaurants already have a hard enough time, but a lot of restaurants in African American communities suffer because some of them are so small, and it's like a mom and pop situation. So I'm just like, let me highlight some of these businesses.
Many restaurants dealing with challenges like
Staffing, major issue.
ongoing supply issues, the rising costs of goods.
Food prices, just like when you go to the grocery store, how high the prices are, they're just as high for us in the restaurant stores. So it's hard trying to get it. And then it's, every item isn't available.
So you have to figure out, okay, now I need to tweak my recipe because certain food items you can't get. To-go containers was really hard for a while.
All posing as obstacles for the entire industry.
The more challenges that come our way is just the more that we have to be creative to figure things out.
Making events like these so important in helping them get back on their feet coming out of the pandemic.
Why not try something different? I mean, you really never know what could be around the corner from your house.
We're all in this together, and we need your help.
Hey, if you like that video, be sure to subscribe to our ABC7 Chicago YouTube channel.
All righty then. So that was a clip by ABC7.
Yeah.
And we're appreciative of those restaurants that stuck it out during the pandemic, because sometimes that's the only recreation you have is to go out and eat. And for people who couldn't do that during the pandemic, it was kind of distressing, because a lot of times, you get older, that's pretty much, that's your recreation. Go to a restaurant. So when you don't have that, it really does put a damper on your social life.
Now that we are empty nesters, so to speak, we do more eating out than we probably should, because I don't want to cook. My husband, he don't want to cook. So we experience, we have those particular ones that we visit, and we'll travel to get a good food, even though, say, we have the ethnic food down the street. We'll travel a ways to get good, fresh food that we like, and we are passionate to do repeat, and we share. That's one of the things that we have to rely on, is word of mouth. And that when you travel to other parts of the world and you're not familiar, when you're planning, you get that information, that word of mouth, those recommendations as you are planning, so you'll know what to do when you get somewhere else. And I'm sure we have Black Eats Chicago, but there are same in other parts of the United States. I know there's one in Dallas, I believe, Houston, Atlanta, New York. It may not be all labeled Black Eats, but it is something that is highlighting the smaller restaurants, the smaller mom and pop restaurants, and not necessarily all soul food. Everything is not always about soul food, comfort food. I saw I saw those crab legs in that pan over there. I know you can't have crab legs. I've seen them. Yeah. So you have all of that you want to experience. This life is about experience. I know we have to go to a commercial, our last commercial, but make sure that if you want to say something and talk about it, on social media, call us at 515-605-9325. That's 515-605-9325, and share with us your favorite restaurant or eatery away from home.
That is right. We want you to share your experience, and we'll be right back after this quick break. So we want you to stick and stay. Don't stray away. We'll be back in just one moment. So stay with us.
Hi, I'm Naima Latif. Join me and my co-host Kareem Hamid every Wednesday morning, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on the Female Solution Radio Show as we explore that relationship that is the foundation for our society, the relationship between men and women, husbands and wives. Join our discussion as we seek to repair broken family ties and rebuild our community. Listen online at www.blogtalkradio.com/the-female-solution. Call in and comment 515-605-9325. Press 1 to speak to our host. Or you can join us live on Facebook at www.facebook.com/the-female-solution. Hey, it's time to take charge of your health. I'm Beata, your holistic life coach, and every Friday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, I'm here on the Female Solution to empower you to make choices that will assist your evolution to abundant health. I'm also blogging every Sunday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time at Soul Purpose Healing, where I bring you a spiritual chiropractic adjustment to bring you back into alignment with our Creator's love, compassion, and wisdom. Join me every Friday morning at 8 a.m. and Sunday evening at 8 p.m. for a time of unity, enlightenment, and love vibration. Shalom. Hi, I'm Jody Susan, Susan Essentials. I started Susan Essentials in 2015 because of a personal health journey. I was over-medicated and put on 19 different medications. And yes, I reversed all my chronic diseases using plant and energy-based healing. It was amazing. At Susan Essentials, we support both consumers and businesses. And we do that with helping your employees or yourself with a food as medicine mindset. How Susan Essentials supports businesses and consumers is we teach people about a food as medicine mindset. So we support people on how to support their own immune system, how to support their brain health, how to support their emotional well-being. And we do that all with plant and an energy-based healing.
Taxes are higher than ever. Every day, thousands of our residents leave Chicago to shop in Indiana. Jobs are being lost and businesses are relocating. Let's find a way to lower our taxes to encourage residents to continue living and shopping in our city. Let's rebuild. Let's restore Chicago. Vote for me for mayor of the city of Chicago, and I will work hard to find solutions that matter. I'm Dr. Willie Wilson, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Willie
Our
Wilson.
kids are the future and should not be left behind. One person should not decide what is the best for our 77 communities. Politicians must work together for our kids' best interests. They deserve a safe education with resources that meet every student need. Let's rebuild and restore Chicago. Vote for me for mayor of Chicago. I'm Dr. Willie Wilson, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for mayor.
Crime in Chicago continues to increase. Communities and politicians must come together to make a change. No one person can solve these problems by themselves, but I believe together we can make progress. Let's provide job training, economic growth, and invest into our 77 communities. Let's rebuild and restore Chicago. Vote for me for mayor of Chicago. I'm Dr. Willie Wilson, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for mayor.
Oh, music. There we go. We are back.
Yes, yes. Thank you all for joining us here as we talk about tradition and changing the traditional meal, changing the way that we typically do things, and creating new traditions. I remember I created a new tradition with one of my children, and that was collecting Christmas houses, building on the Christmas village. And every year we get a new piece for the Christmas village. It wasn't anything big or major. It wasn't expensive, but it was something that you can identify with one of your children to grow, and you never know what that idea could develop in the future to the generations, to his children, his children's children. The idea, not necessarily of collecting Christmas village houses, but something that you can create for yourself and for your family. Giving an idea, tweaking the education, getting beyond what our suppression is, opening up minds. That's what it is. Coming together, putting a meal together. One of my granddaughters, we cooked, and I remember the first time that one of the times we were together and using the ingredients, I always shake, the powdered ingredients, I always shake it. Something settle, especially when it's mixed, because I'll mix ingredients together to use one thing. And so, and then I was sitting back and I was watching her cook something else another day altogether. And that's the first thing she did was shook that container. I'm like, yes. But that's what you're building relationships.
You remember that movie Soul Food? That was all about the whole family togetherness thing, and that's what cooking together does. That's one of the, I guess, the diehard traditions of Thanksgiving is people contributing. If you have a family gathering, some people bring some dish, some other people bring another dish. That's all good.
Some people bring the containers so they can take stuff home.
Yeah, that's me. the to-go boxes.
Right. But you talk about soul food, and it was one scene or one function of that family. They had the uncle that was always in the bed.
Yeah.
And even though the mom was gone, they still took care of that uncle.
Right up there, even though we know he had mental challenges, but he was still included. However, he could participate. They brought him his.
Yes, you make sure you take care of family. So if you're not going to be home, if you're not going to be in the big house, make sure that family member is taken care of. If if you have to travel, that you're traveling with them, that you're taking them with you. You're paying attention, you're being attentive. Right. And even though they're in the care of another family member, so to speak, now that you all are together as a group, that's part of your chore too. Right. You pay attention. You take care of each other. Even if you're not related by blood.
Right. And always remember your elders. Sometimes they might have, hearing problems, sight problems, but it's try as much as possible to include. If you're going out, make sure it's accessible. If you have people that are in a wheelchair, make sure someplace they can get to where it's not up 4 flights of stairs and there's no elevator. Don't do that. Make sure that wherever you go with your family that you can include everybody and keep in mind their condition so they can be included. If they're hard of hearing, make sure that you speak loud enough so they know what's being said in the conversation. Because there's nothing more lonely than when you're in a group of people, but you're not really included because they don't make sure you can see and hear what's going on.
Right.
Be conscious of those things. I just wanted to share with you all, a lot of people, they may want to do something different or try something non-meat or just try a new dish. So now I love beans. This is a quick
Me too.
navy bean soup that was shared on our dear friend Tori Muhammad's show on Black Chicago Eats, and this is one of our good friends sharing her navy bean soup recipe. So take some notes. If not, scroll back after the show and get this recipe, because this is not only good tasting, it's really healthy.
It's hearty. Yeah, something that I need because I got some in there now.
All right, so here we go. Oh wait, let me start from the beginning.
Bean soup, bean soup, bean soup, raise the roof, bean soup, raise the roof, bean soup, raise the roof. Assalamu alaikum and peace be unto you. I'm Sister Latasha Muhammad, and today we are going to make navy bean soup, Muhammad's navy bean soup, the supreme navy bean soup. So I hope that you join me, and I hope that you make this recipe yourself and enjoy it. So let's get started. First, you're going to need, for the ingredients, 2 cups of dry navy beans, 3 stalks of celery, chopped, 1 green pepper, chopped, 4 medium onions, diced, 4 cloves of garlic, minced, a 1/3 cup of olive oil, a 1/2 can of tomato paste, or if you're using the jar of tomato paste, it would be 5 tablespoons, 1 tablespoon sugar, salt and pepper to taste, 1 teaspoon of sage, 1 teaspoon of turmeric, and the sage and turmeric are optional. First, we're going to begin our navy bean soup with navy beans that have been sorted, rinsed, and soaked, boiling. And the white stuff that you're seeing, the foam that's building, is the outer coating of the bean, which is a sugar called oligosaccharides, combined with protein, and it causes flatulence. See it rising? So we're gonna skim that off.
Okay.
We're gonna get a cup and we're gonna skim it off.
After the foam is
Let's check the beans. You're gonna see that the beans have split and they're getting soft. So at that point, when they split and you can mash them pretty easily with a spoon or a fork, then that's when you want to add all of the rest of your ingredients. So let's go do that. The heat has been on medium, just a little bit past. And this is what the beans look like. Now the beans, when they are getting soft, you're gonna see them split. I don't know if you can see some of the beans on here have split. And they should mash easily with a spoon or a fork.
Chopping up all of the ingredients. onions, the peppers, the zucchini, garlic.
Yeah, I have that in the freezer already chopped up. I just grab a handful and I put the garlic. Mm-hmm.
You're going to add in the vegetables that you chopped, your onions, celery, your green pepper, your garlic, and you're going to add in your tomato paste, and you're going to stir very well. And then you're going to add in your olive oil and the rest of your spices, your pepper, sage, turmeric, your sugar, and stir well. After all ingredients are added and stirred, you'll bring the bean soup to a simmer, and you're going to let everything simmer for another hour. The beans have been cooking for an additional hour, and that makes the total time the bean soup has been cooking is 2.5 hours. The bean soup is ready to go. And when you see the beans mash easily, very easily with a spoon or with a fork, you know your navy bean soup is complete.
Except for the okra.
Oh, you put okra in yours, huh? Okra,
Now you can either serve your bean soup whole, or you can put it in a blender and puree it. So I'm going to show you bean soup in a bowl, whole, and I'm going to show you pureed bean soup in a bowl.
Just like if you have somebody who's maybe either an infant that doesn't or an elderly person who doesn't have any more teeth.
Or
you need
yeah.
And the bean soup is complete.
Like baby food.
Thank you so much for watching. I hope you make the bean soup for yourself and for your family, and I hope that you enjoy it. I'm Sister Latasha Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum, and peace be unto you.
Now that looks good, I must say.
Yeah, that's very good. See, I drink some of that. You know, I put some more of the juice and drink it.
Oh, that sounds like that. It'd be a really good healthy smoothie kind of.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know, I love bean soup, so that definitely is the recipe I'm gonna try. I hadn't thought about the tomato paste though. That's the one.
Oh yeah. But I never knew you had to skim that white
I didn't know that either.
That was seasoning.
Well, now we know. See, now we know what it does. So yeah, I'm glad to learn that.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was very good. I like that part.
Yeah.
And that could be something that everybody in the kitchen, you know, you're sitting around, somebody cuts up the green peppers.
Yeah. Well, that was that part of the soul food movie. You know, everybody cut something or, you know, did peel something. I mean, it was like participation in the meal. So I think that's one of the things that people, if everybody does participate, that people like about traditions like Thanksgiving, Christmas, and all that. You know, when people get together and cook. What makes it not good if you got one person and all of the meal preparation falls on them, and then like you say, you're exhausted at the end of the day, you're rubbing your feet, you know, your ankles are swollen, and you swear up and down you'll never do this again. So now that's where you are. Then you need to think about going out to eat someplace. Let somebody else do all the work, and you just enjoy the meal. That's
right. Now, see what I do also. If that's what they want, I'll assist.
Yeah. Now I don't mind. Now, one thing we would do as a family, we usually do like a potluck. Everybody brings something, you know, and over time you kind of know who does the best dishes and
who not to.
You know, yeah.
Yeah, who can go to Olive Garden and get the salad?
Yeah, and who just bring the plates and the cups.
But again, the key is when you're going to someone's home, always take something.
Yeah.
Even if it's a bag of ice.
Yeah, don't come.
Bring
something to eat. No,
don't go empty-handed. And
a bottle of juice. Bring something.
Grab a bottle of wine from your wine counter, or
that one is half drunk where you got half the bottle. No, nothing. And backwater in it. No.
But do something, and then think about something unique as well.
Yeah. My daughter just came back from New Orleans, and she was posting pictures of all different food places that they went to. You know, that's the place. That's definitely where you go when you want to eat. But you try something different. Try something with a different ethnic flavor to it. You know.
Yeah, that's why I this chef.com, SHEIF.com. I'm going to try them, and they deliver to our area, and they are ethnic meals. So I'm going to see. You know, I'm adventurous, and but my family is not so.
Are they the kind of people that everywhere you go, no matter where it is, they get there and order a hamburger and fries? You at a Chinese restaurant, I'll have a burger and fries.
Yeah. You know, and I'll ask for eggplant. You know, give me the eggplant.
Yeah, I like it.
Like,
yeah,
that's what I want. You know, I want something different. Why come to some place that they have a variety where it's something I could get anytime, or I can stay at home and got that?
I know it's like going to a Baskin Robbins with 33 flavors and you're going there and get vanilla. I mean, you know, why? You got all this choice, but you're going to get the same thing anyhow.
Right. So I am definitely known to do different stuff. You know, and sometimes it's good and sometimes it's not so good. Like the first time I made a sweet potato pie, I didn't put any sugar in it.
Oh, you thought the sweet potatoes was sweet enough, huh? Yeah.
I said it was a sweet potato pie.
Yeah. That sounds like something I would do. I'm gonna say sweet potato with any sugar.
This was terrible
because you add the sugar.
Yeah, I know now. So I know now I can make apple pie. I don't make the crust. I'm not good in baking like that. Yeah. But they got crust for you.
I know. I didn't try to buy the crust. Hey, you know.
And I'll do pears. You know, we get a big bag of pears, and the pears don't seem to get ripe. So you chop them up and you simmer them down and you put them in the pie pan, and you eat them that way. You know, you have to expand your horizons. Come on now. Like I said, you don't buy the same clothes every time you go to the store to buy clothes.
Yeah.
You're looking for something different. Why not open your mind and open those persons that you are responsible for in teaching to open their mind, to have an open mind, and not only get that stuff that they get from those fast food places. And I know that our time has come, and I thank you. I so appreciate as I was going through losing my voice and coughing and snotting and everything, and yeah, I so appreciate you being here.
We thank you so much. I hope it saved your voice a little bit. We were out with Dr. Willie Wilson, all over the city, giving away gas, giving away food, because he's really wanting to help people have not just a good holiday, but just life in general.
Life.
So,
yes.
The philanthropist who uses his wealth to help others. So we wanted to, give him the accolades for that and show a little bit for our listening audience and viewing audiences. And of course, you can follow us on onaireverywhere.com. Look at our On Air Daily News page and, get the latest. We've had a chance to show some of the work that he's done and others have done around the city. And we'll be continuing to bring you more. And of course, join us tomorrow for Soulful Solutions with something with a soul, right?
Soul Purpose
Soul Purpose Healing. So you know something about your soul, right?
Yeah,
Soul Purpose Healing on Sunday with Viata, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, Soulful Solutions is on Thursday. So we always working with your soul, mind, body, and soul. And
come here for the female solution every day because we have a solution for you. And if we don't have a solution, we're gonna work together to get it.
We'll find a way, absolutely. And you've been listening to and watching Move Around with Deborah. So move around this holiday season. Move around, visit some relatives, eat their food, go to some restaurants.
Get a new tradition. Yeah, create a new tradition.
There you go.
Tell us about it next month.
But you can hear every show in the archives at www.blogtalkradio.com/the-female-solution. You can also hear today's show on the Female Solution Facebook page. Go to www.facebook.com/the-female-solution. Leave your comments about today's show. You can always reach me on my website at www.naimalatif.com. That's www.naimalatif.com. Watch our TV shows, listen to our radio shows, order our books, and be sure to get your copy of the book, The Female Solution. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to thank all of you who participated in today's discussion. And to our global family listening from all around the world, we say thank you. To our family in China, Sheshe, India, Zanyaba, Japan, Arigato, Korea, Kamsamnida, Russia, Spasiba, Germany, Danke, Poland, Dziękuję, France, Merci, Spain, Gracias, Italy, Grazie, Egypt, Shukran, Ghana, Madasi, Nigeria, Eshe, South Africa, Nyabonga, Senegal, Geret, Kenya, Asante, Israel, Koda, Pakistan, Shukriya, Afghanistan, Tashakur, Saudi Arabia, Shukran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you. And may peace be upon you and the mercy of God and God's blessings.